One of the coolest things I think they have going on in the city of Detroit is the MoGo bikes. I worked a lot in Chicago over the past few years, and these bikes are everywhere. They got me to and from, because a lot of times when you go and you travel to these cities, it's easier to just park your car, and instead of walking, you can, hop on a bike. So I was so happy when I saw this come to Detroit. And the person behind that, she's a genius. Let's bring in Lisa Nuszkowski. She's the founder and executive director for MoGo. Thank you so much, Lisa, for being with us.
Thank you guys for having me. Glad to be here.
So give us the backstory. How did you even come up with this?
Yeah, it was a long time in the making. So I had started working at Wayne State University in the Office of Economic Development around, it was 2012. And that was when bike share was just starting to pop up in cities like Chicago, like New York, other places. And so we thought this would be a really cool idea to explore for the city of Detroit. And so we convened some business and community stakeholders, and people said, we're interested in this, let's learn more. So we did a feasibility study the next year, and then used that to raise money, build support. And then I left the university in 2015 with their blessing to go out and launch this nonprofit organization that you see today that runs Detroit's bike share system. So we launched in May 2017 with 430 bikes at 44 stations. And then this past year, we expanded our system by adding another 140 bikes and another 31 stations to Detroit and Southern Oakland County. So it's been a really exciting 3 or 4 years for us at Bike Share in Detroit.
But don't get this wrong, because I never ask a woman her age. I went to school in the South. You don't do that. But you're young. How were you able to manage all of this? Or is part of it because when you're younger, you just jump in and you roll the dice and see how things play out?
Well, I appreciate the compliment, but I'm probably a little bit older than I look, but I'll take it. So, but no, honestly, it was, while I have been the leader of this organization and our efforts, it's not done without many, many partnerships. I talked about the support at Wayne State University. The Downtown Detroit Partnership has also been incredibly supportive in nurturing this idea in our organization as we have grown along the way. And then we've got our title sponsors, Henry Ford Health System and HAP. Their financial support makes it possible for us to have bikes all over the city of Detroit and communities in Oakland County, and many other sponsors and partners. It really, I think I said when we launched the system, if it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a city to build a bike share system. And so we couldn't have done it without all of those partners and supporters. And that's been true even as we've expanded into the suburbs, the partnerships with Ferndale, Royal Oak, Oak Park, Berkeley, Huntington Woods. It's just been really great to see communities be interested in bringing new mobility options to their areas and supporting what we do. So it's been really wonderful.
I'm really surprised it wasn't in the suburbs prior to being in the city of Detroit, because walkable communities are so popular right now. But with that, the one thing I think is so great about what you guys are doing is it's not just about the downtown Detroit area. We hear so much about Detroit's comeback, but as someone who has spent more than her fair share in the neighborhoods, they feel like they've been forgotten. And the beautiful thing I think about this is that you guys made it a point to put these bikes in the neighborhoods as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely been very important to us to make sure that this is not just for tourists and visitors who are happy to have used our system as well, but we want to make sure that people who live in the city, who work in the city, have access to affordable mobility options. And so that's why when we first launched, we made sure that we were in 10 different neighborhoods. And then we expanded last year. We added 10 stations along the Livernois and Woodward corridors in Northwest Detroit. So right around the Palmer Park Avenue of Fashion area. And so, we're very proud to be in multiple places in Detroit. I think there's opportunity for other places to grow and expand our system too, but wanted to make sure that, again, we're balancing where we're putting those bikes, because we know that people have a wide range of needs to get around, and we want to make sure that we're there to serve as many of those needs as possible.
And when we talk about balancing, we'll say, because the scooters are kind of big too. A bike I can ride. The scooters are a little dangerous to me, but also when it snows, we are in Michigan. We do get winter months. The scooters are a little bit harder to navigate through those first and last snowfalls. But with that, how does it actually operate on a day-to-day basis. How do you keep track of the bikes and make sure they come back to you? Because I'm thinking, hey, free bike.
Yeah, no, so I'm glad you mentioned the weather piece before I get to how we run it. So we are 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365, because we know that, well, obviously ridership is much higher when it's a beautiful spring or summer day. We know that people have mobility needs year round, and so we want to make sure that we made our bikes available to people throughout the year. But we work with an operator. Our partner is called Shift Transit, and so they are the ones, if you've seen our MoGo vans out driving around town, picking up bikes at stations that are full and adding bikes to stations that are empty. We've got tracking devices on each of the bikes, and so we know exactly who has them out, who took a bike from which station, where they returned it to. If they didn't return it, we'll be in touch with you. And everybody has to, well, most people who reserve a bike or check a bike out through one of the stations have to have a credit card on file with us. So we have that as a way to follow up with folks if we don't hear from them, and we can charge them for the bike itself. But to be honest, we haven't had a huge issue with that. And I think people understand that this is a shared resource for everyone. And the more members that we've gotten over the years, the more sort of supporters and people who want to take care of the system. So we'll get Good Samaritans, call us if they see, hey, we saw a bike that, didn't have anyone, near it. Can you, make sure to send somebody over here to pick it up? So we've gotten a lot of support from our members in the community as well.
So how does that work? Because do you have to have a credit card? Because we do know a lot of people don't have credit cards. And I'm also thinking about, parents who maybe don't have cars or their cars broke down. And so maybe they want their kid to ride the bike to school. How does that side work? Or you need to have something on file?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So we actually do have a cash payment option. So when you're going on and signing up for a pass online, you can just check a box to say, I want to pay with cash. And then what we'll do is we'll send you a barcode that you can either print out, or you could bring your phone to any Family Dollar, 7-Eleven, or CVS store. They'll scan that barcode, you'll pay them the amount of the pass, and then your account gets credited, and then you're able to ride. So we don't have a credit card on account for you. At least we know who you are, right? We know that we've sent you this information, we have contact information for you, so we're at least be able to track people in that way. And then that's really nice. It's been a good complement to our Access Pass program. So we do have a $5 annual pass for anybody who receives state benefits. So that's Medicaid, Healthy Michigan programs, cash or food assistance. And so you can go online, sign up for a $5 annual pass, enter in your 9-digit state case ID number. You'll automatically qualify for that reduced fee pass. And so we've got over a quarter of our long-term riders, our member riders, who have that Access Pass. So we know that it's serving the needs of people, of a range of incomes throughout the region.
We're talking with Lisa Nuszkowski. She's the founder and executive director for MoGo. And that is a great thing because while it is a great convenience, especially for people who are, coming in from the suburbs, they don't want to haul their bike into Detroit, stuff it in the back of their car, or it won't fit in my smart car. I'm sorry. But with that too, you can go down, you can rent one, you can enjoy Detroit, the DeQuinder Cut. But the more important thing, we know there are so many people within the city of Detroit, they do not have reliable transportation. And part of that has to do with the fact that insurance is so high. It's very costly to have a car within the city of Detroit. So this is a great option for so many people within the city of Detroit, Lisa.
Yeah, and we're also really fortunate to have just recently gotten a grant through a national partnership called the Better Bike Share Partnership. And we got a grant for a couple of years that will support us working with SMART and DDOT to improve the bike bus connection. And so again, to your point, not everybody has access to a personal vehicle. And so if people are relying on public transit, we know bike share is not going to serve every single transportation need, right? It's really good for shorter distances, but not if you're, commuting 15, 20 miles. And so we're going to be working closely with those two transit providers to figure out how we can get more of their riders using bike share and how we can get more people who are using bike share to use transit as well. So we're very excited for that over the next couple of years.
What's the cost of this? It was pretty low. I just used my credit card, so I think it was pretty low.
Yeah, so we've got several different options. If you're just coming to, to ride for, a one-off kind of thing, we offer a pay-as-you-go option, which is $1 to unlock the bike and then 25 cents a minute while you're using the bike. Or if you want to have a little bit more time, you can buy a 2-hour time block for $18, and you can spread that out over as much as much time as you would like. And then if you're a member, you can buy a $20 monthly pass, and you can renew that for as many months as you'd like. Or if you want to buy an annual pass to have access all year round, that's $90. And then again, we have the $5 access pass, which is an annual pass for anybody with state benefits. So a wide range of options based on how people want to use the system.
That's so great. And I will say nothing against the Q line, but when the Q line started, they did kind of a test. One of the local news outlets, I think it was Deadline Detroit, where they had someone walk, someone rent the bike, and another person take the Q line. The bike person obviously made it to their destination the quickest, then the person walking, and then lastly the Q line.
I remember that competition because actually the person who was riding a MoGo bike finished second, and they finished second because they didn't pay attention to the instructions, and they rode the bike on Woodward and got the tire caught in the streetcar track, and actually and fell. They were okay, some scrapes and bruises, nothing serious, but it just underscores that you have to be very careful around those tracks. And so, so we like to think that we're a fast, flexible way to get around, but we definitely want people to do that safely.
Exactly. I will say I was excited. I remember I was working downtown at the time when the Q line started, and we were like, oh, this is a great way to, pub crawl along up and down Woodward, but it's so slow, it just doesn't work. So walk. That's a good way, or ride a bike.
We need a range of options, right? And I understand that the Q line is going to be restarting up later this year, so hopefully we'll look for more to come with that.
So we're speaking with Lisa Nuszkowski. She's the founder and executive director of MoGo. With that, Lisa, I love your background, and you are so young, but you're also passionate about the city of Detroit. What advice do you have to younger people coming out of college that maybe want to, find their way in life?
Yeah, I'm very grateful. I came to Detroit after finishing graduate school. I did an internship here in the city and moved here. And so I've been here for about 17 years now. And I've just been incredibly fortunate to have found a community with just wonderful people. And I think that the biggest piece of advice I would give for people who are looking to move to Detroit or get involved with things in Detroit is to really come and understand the history of the city, listen to people who have lived here. I know that there's a lot of excitement and interest in some of the new things that are happening in the city, but to really be here and I think be a good resident, to be a good neighbor, to be a good supporter of efforts, we have to take the time to understand the context of the city and sort of the challenges of where we are, and I think the opportunities that we have to build together and then to work together to get to those outcomes. And so I think that that's one of the reasons that we've been relatively successful with MoGo, is that we've really tried to spend a lot of time connecting with the people who live in the communities that we serve, so we can understand their needs, provide a service that can work for them, and something that hopefully they feel proud of and excited to have in their community as well. And so that's generally speaking the advice I would give to somebody who's interested in coming to Detroit.
You're listening to 89.3 WBLD Orchard Lake, 88.1 WBFH Bloomfield Hills. Thank you so much for going on this adventure, but providing such a valuable service to Detroit. And again, this is for everyone, but I love that you did take the time to learn and listen from the people that have lived in the city for so many years. There are so many unsung heroes within the city of Detroit. So thank you for taking them into account as you built this as well. Anything maybe we didn't talk about that you want to add before we say goodbye?
No, just that we're excited for the weather to be warming up again and already starting to see more riders out and about. And just to let folks know that, we've been open throughout the pandemic because we know people still need to get around, or if you just need an opportunity for some exercise, physical activity, we're doing our part to keep bikes and stations clean, so we continue to implement all of those COVID safety protocols, and just want to encourage everybody to do their part by riding safely, continue to wear a mask, encourage everybody to get the vaccine, wash your hands, and go hop on a bike and go out and enjoy the beautiful spring here.
The beautiful spring, and also get in shape, get some exercise. This is a great way and a great time to do that as well. Thank you again, Lisa. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate the opportunity.